Matt, you're the only person I know who can sit outside in 10-degree weather without a coat. Hey there, everybody. When you think of a guy who is lonely, lives in the Midwest, and has a beagle, who do you think of? You're probably thinking of me, which I'm not going to deny that because I honestly fit that description pretty well. But there's another guy that also fits this description known as Charlie Brown, and he has a Christmas movie. So since it's the holiday season, we're going to be watching this jolly film that I relate to a bit too much. So we fade in to see a bunch of kids and a dog skating on a lake somewhere in Minnesota with two kids off to the side. These two kids are known as Charlie Brown and Linus, and Charlie Brown is being a real buzzkill and talking to his friend Linus about how depressed he is during the Christmas season. Linus doesn't really care though and basically tells Charlie Brown he's being a real buzzkill and they both go to skate. Now even though they're both really good at skating, somehow Charlie Brown's dog Snoopy is even better at skating than them. Which I find strange because not only do dogs lack the muscles to stand on 2 feet, which is a prime part of skating, but also Snoopy isn't even wearing skates and is still skating. Personally, if my dog started doing this, I would be convinced he wasn't a dog at all and immediately call the relevant authorities. But I guess that's just normal in Minnesota and everyone accepts it, even when Snoopy flings all the kids around, which causes Charlie Brown to hit a tree going about 30 miles per hour. And you would think with the size of Charlie Brown's head and the velocity he hit the tree at, it would result in blunt force trauma to the head. But I guess not, because in the next scene he's looking through a mailbox completely fine. And in the mailbox he finds he got no Christmas cards, which makes him sad. And honestly, I wouldn't really be that sad about not getting any Christmas cards, because all Christmas cards I've ever done in my household is sit in a big stack on the coffee table. Anyway, he decides to go on a walk and goes to see an unlicensed therapist known as Lucy, and after charging him 5 cents, Lucy tells him he needs more involvement and tells him to go direct the local Christmas play, which he seems to think is a good idea. On his walk over to the auditorium though, he gets depressed again because he found out his dog went commercial and is trying to win a contest by decorating his doghouse with enough decorations to probably shut down the Midwest power grid. I mean, personally, I would be impressed if my dog was doing that, but I guess I would also feel kinda bad because my dog doesn't even have hands and still managed to string lights, and I have hands and have never correctly strung lights, which would mean that my dog is more talented than me. You still holding the ladder? Anyway, after writing a letter for his sister, he gets to the auditorium and tries to direct the Christmas play, but apparently he has no authority because no one listens to him. Eventually, Lucy gets everyone to listen to him and he starts making casting decisions. But apparently there was a good reason no one listened to him because he makes some pretty bad casting decisions, including casting a dog in a play. Now don't get me wrong, if I found out a local play had a dog cast in it, that's all I need to know to plan out my Friday night. But I also think as a director there are certain casting decisions that you just don't make even though they may be funny, and casting a dog is probably one of them. Anyway, likely because a dog is one of the cast members, the play is not working out, so Lucy tells Charlie Brown and Linus to go get an aluminum Christmas tree to try and fix the play. And when Charlie Brown and Linus get to the Christmas tree lot, Charlie Brown does the exact opposite of what he was told to do mere minutes ago, and finds a non-aluminum tree that's also the most pathetic Christmas tree I've ever seen. Now if I were Charlie Brown, I would try and get a real Christmas tree as well, but I wouldn't even count this thing as a tree. Honestly, there's not even an excuse for this bad of a tree, because he lives in Minnesota, which has a fair amount of nice evergreen trees. You could get a better tree off the highway than this thing. Personally, if I were in his shoes, I would have just taken a saw and gotten a tree the good old-fashioned way. Anyway, Charlie Brown gets back to the auditorium and everyone rightfully calls him an idiot, including his dog, which makes him pretty sad, but then Linus does this whole speech thing and he feels better and goes off to decorate his tiny Christmas tree. And instead of going to a store to get decorations, he just goes to his dog's first place heavily decorated house to strip ornaments off of that. He takes off a single ornament of the house, but when he puts it on the tree, it dies after a single ornament, which honestly isn't a surprise, but he's still sad and walks away. Anyway, the rest of the kids go over to the small Christmas tree and feel bad for calling Charlie Brown an idiot, so they completely strip down Snoopy's doghouse for decorations and put it on the tree. Now you would think if a single ornament killed the tree, the rest of the decor would just kill it more, but I guess the laws of nature are different in Minnesota, because the tree goes from a small leafless stick to having actual branches and leaves that look like a tree. Anyway, Charlie Brown gets back to his tree that looks nice, and instead of wondering how they managed to make a stick look like that, they just all start singing. What's the moral of this story? I have no idea. Merry Christmas, thanks for watching.